I didn't know that, you get such nice meals.
My manager immediately left her work and she decided to just be with me.
Later on, they've come to me and be like, oh, why can't you stay? Why are you leaving?
The guy got us free passes to Legoland.
I mean, that story just warms my heart again. You know what they say? Desperate times call for.
Remembering why we joined hospitality in the first place.
It wasn't all bad. Some days were actually pretty great.
This one's for the good guests, good food, and the great stories.
If you've ever loved what you do, even just a little, this one's for you.
This is Desperate Times.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Desperate Times. I am Sakshi.
And I'm Varun.
And today we're going to talk about all the good things in hospitality. We know we gave you all a bad side of it, but it was only fair to give you all the good stories as well.
Absolutely. I mean, there are bad experiences that everyone has through this process, and hospitality can from time to time not really be kind. But there's always the positive side of it that we can
Of
also
course.
look at. So if you're someone who wants to still pursue hospitality, even after listening to all the horror stories that we had for you last episode, this one's probably going to be more supportive and give you a little more reason to actually go ahead with it.
So I'll start with one of my good stories first, which is basically the food. Hospitality and food, I mean, it's connected. You can't do one without the other. And that was one of the...
Yeah, two peas in a pod.
Yep, literally. And that was one of the reasons why I decided to join the hospitality industry as well, as we've spoken in the previous episodes. So there are a couple of incidents, but during the industrial trainee days, the staff meals that we had were probably one of the best. I didn't know that, you get such nice meals, and our staff canteen had so many options. I'm going to list out a few just to get some of y'all drooling and thinking about it. So as soon as you entered, if there was buffet leftover from breakfast for lunch, like I mostly had lunch shifts, I rarely had like later shifts as intern. So if you had buffet leftovers from different restaurants, we used to have a whole array of pastries. So there's Danish, there's croissant, and I love pastries because they're so labor intensive that you only get them in nice expensive restaurants or cafes. I mean, now it's more prominent, but we're talking about 10 years ago. So let me put that into perspective for you. They weren't that common back then.
Did you have a favorite?
So, I mean, croissant is always going to be my favorite. You cannot go wrong with a croissant.
Cannot, absolutely not.
So that, and then, so that was when you entered. But then when you moved away, there were a couple of different options for salads. So you had a different salad each day. It wasn't the same thing every day. And then you had like a dry vegetable and like a dry meat as well. They didn't chicken out on the meat. I mean, pun intended. So there was that. Then there was always like a dal or some kind of curry gravy sort of thing as well. And then you had options between rice and like chapati or bread. But this was not all. There were special days once a week where there was like a different menu. So one day they're doing only Hakka or Chinese, then one day they're doing only Italian. So that was once a week.
Damn, they went pretty fancy with it.
Oh yeah, we had burgers as well. So it was very nice. And then for drinks, you had drinks. So you could either do buttermilk, you could do like a pop, you could do maybe some kind of juice. So that was available as well. And then I think there was always some kind of dessert, like at least one dessert. So like ice cream, something easy that's like low effort. But they made sure that you had a complete meal. So I think when I went to work, what I used to look most forward to is the meal, the lunch, because it was so good. And on occasion, we even had live counters like you do in banquet for guests. So, I mean, they really put some thought into the food that we ate and made sure that we got all the nutrition. So I loved that bit.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I feel like when you're working at a hotel, you're very well taken care of in all of those aspects. And I was working outside of India, so for me, I had so many things sorted. Sure, I was paid lesser than what the average person gets paid while working, but I had my accommodation taken care of, much like you, Sakshi. I had like my food taken care of. I had the shuttle to the workplace every day, a new item, like a whole fresh buffet in the staff section as well for meals every day. So you're pretty well taken care of, even if you're paid a little lesser, and that's a really nice thing to see, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because those perks add up, right? Like it also saves you money, but at the same time, making sure you're taken care of is very important.
Absolutely. And actually, not just the staff buffets, So, and this is something that people may or may not know, is that at least for me, we would also, as staff, get to eat a little bit of the food while working at the restaurant. So,
Oh yeah.
so let's say, for example, if, and this is okay, definitely keeping hygiene in mind, but we would have times when guests would like order a whole pizza, and sometimes they would just be too full to eat it and then just leave it behind altogether.
Oh
Not even
yeah.
not even take it back for some reason. I guess people coming at
Mm-hmm.
5-star hotels just have enough money to just leave behind a lot of food. So these guys would then come and we would clear the food out, take it to the back, and whatever came to the back then was all ours to eat. So that's something that we really enjoyed from time to time. And I think one of my favorite things to eat when it came back was pizza. I am a big pizza person. Like
Oh my god.
if I could even just turn my camera around, I have like a poster up there on my wall that says "Make pizza, not war." So that's how much I kind of enjoyed the pizza around that would come back to the back. But one memory that I have with eating pizza that was not a fun memory per se, but this kind of showed me the more compassionate side of hospitality. Wherein what had happened this one time is that a pizza came to the back of three to four of us different employees decided to like go and grab a slice each of us, and
Mm.
this was pretty late into the night, like it was probably around 1 o'clock that
Oh wow.
we had a pizza come to the back and we each picked up a slice, and I went to take a bite of the slice,
Mm-hmm.
and here's where things got a little messy. Is that while eating that slice of pizza, I had my jaw locked.
Wait, what? At 1 a.m.?
Yeah, at 1 a.m., at the end of my shift, we
Wow.
were almost ready to go home,
Oh
and
my
I
god.
had my jaw locked. And this was the first time this ever happened for me. So
Oh my god.
this kind of like brought in a sense of panic because I had no idea what was happening. I couldn't
Yeah.
shut my mouth close, couldn't
Mm-hmm.
like swallow my own saliva. It was bad. It was bad. And it was a situation where I needed medical attention
Mm-hmm.
to have the medical attention kind of come my way right away. And at 1 a.m., that's not the easiest to get, right?
Mm, no.
So I was taken down closer to where the HR office was. And unfortunately for me, I was 3 weeks into my internship. I didn't have my insurance in,
Oh,
yeah, I didn't have my insurance in place yet. And being in another country, not having insurance in place is kind of rough.
messy.
It
Yeah.
is. It's messy. It's messy. So I kind of sat there for like half an hour, 45 minutes. Just time went by. Didn't know what to
In
do.
pain.
In pain, in a lot of pain, dude. And time went by. We decided to go to one nursing home. Doctors over there didn't know what they were doing. I was brought back to the hotel for a second time to figure out how things could kind of go about. And that's when the
Mm.
hotel kind of decided that, you know what, we need to handle this a lot better now. And they decided that they'd get me onto the hotel insurance and take me to a better
Okay,
hospital for this
that's
at this
good.
point in time, giving you a little more of a time idea. This At this
Mm-hmm.
point in time, it was closer to 2:30 a.m.
Yeah, I
when
was gonna say 3.
you were almost right on. It was closer to
Yeah.
2:30 a.m. We were still figuring all of this out. But one thing that I saw in all of this is that my manager immediately left her work and she decided to just be with me through this
Mm.
entire process, to the point wherein she almost went out of the way to make sure that I was okay. At
Oh.
3:30 a.m., when we were rushing to another hospital, she and her husband
Mm-hmm.
both got out their own car. Might I
Oh
say,
wow.
this is the Middle East, so there are fancy cars out there. So they bought out their own car. They drove me to the hospital, made sure that
Wow.
I was taken care of, drove me back even to my accommodation. And I
That's
think
nice.
in our previous episodes, actually, I think you mentioned how you were not being able to get the kind of leaves that you wanted, and if you were sick, you had to still go into
Oh
work.
yeah. Yeah.
For
Yeah. I went through some things, so yeah.
Yeah, but for me, somehow, for this one occasion, I faced a completely opposite situation where I was willing to go in the next day to work, but my manager straight up was like, you know what, nothing doing. You're staying
Mm.
at the accommodation. You're getting the rest that you need. I don't want to see you at work tomorrow.
That's really nice of her. And managers like that are rare to come by. They exist, of course.
Managers like that do exist, and they actually kind of like leave a mark behind for you, and they leave the like instead of leaving a bitter taste in your mouth, they kind of leave you with such great memories of
Mm-hmm.
knowing what a supportive team can really look like. So that is something that I
Definitely.
really cherished from that experience of my traumatizing experience, but a great manager that I got out of it.
Oh, definitely. And it's important to have those people around you, not just in managers, but in your colleagues, in your team members,
Mm-hmm.
and even your guests, because hospitality is such a service related business. I mean, it is a service related business. You're offering
Absolutely.
your services, it's not a commodity, it's not a product.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be very mindful of the conversations, of the kind of discussions that you're having with other people. And
Absolutely.
in a world where I was, like, this story of mine, it's very male dominated, that part of the industry, which is
Mm-hmm.
catering sales. At least it used to be back then, 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Things have obviously changed since,
Of
but
course.
this one incident comes to mind where I was on my way out of the hotel. I was on was it my 1 month notice or 2 month notice, something like
Okay.
that. And this one family came, so there was mom, dad, and the groom. It was for a wedding. They
Okay.
were
Okay.
scouting different locations, so they wanted to see a hotel very close to the Taj Mahal. So it becomes a very hot property then for weddings, because it's a matter of prestige to have Taj Mahal in the background in your
Yeah,
wedding photos.
that's
Like, it's so
fancy.
nice.
Fancy, fancy, fancy.
So these people, they like did a tour with me. We went around the property a couple of times, and then for some reason the parents thought like I was their, like, a younger daughter, like younger to
Oh.
their son, and he thought of me as a sister. And I was just 21 back then, so it was also new experience for me to be treated like that by a
Mm-hmm.
family where I've always just faced critique and, hardships from these guests. So
Mm-hmm.
I was taken aback as well. And we had several meetings over a course of a couple of months, because wedding events, they're big events,
Oh,
they're
they're
big
big.
decisions.
The big
They
fat
don't
Indian
just
wedding
happen.
is
Oh
real.
yeah, I sold them almost every venue, because as a sales rep, it's your prerogative to show them the vision that they have in mind. Like, okay, yeah, this setting would look like this. We could do this. Like, you essentially become a wedding
Yeah,
planner for them at that point.
basically.
Um, so I painted the picture. They really liked what I had to say, and it was also refreshing for them that a young person like that could come with such ideas, and it wasn't like conventional ideas that other people were throwing at them.
Mm-hmm.
So they really liked that. And what's more interesting is that they got to know much later that I was on my way out. And then the team that handled all the final decisions and everything, they weren't so nice, is what I was told by these guests. Later on, they've come to me and be like, "Oh, why can't you stay? Why are you leaving? Like, we
Oh.
want you there for the wedding. We'll send you
I was
tickets. Fly
I was
in for the
I was
wedding."
gonna say, did they give you an invite for the wedding?
They did not, but they said it. Even saying it is a big
Oh, it
thing,
is. It is for
So
sure.
they were like, "Oh, why don't you stay? Like, why don't you fly in?" I'm like, I can't really tell them, get into the politics of why I'm leaving. But it
Fair.
was such a heart touching moment for me to be invited like that to a wedding, and they were like, "Oh, but this wedding cannot go on without you. Like, you helped us put
Oh.
this vision to life. This was all your idea, and you won't be there to execute it." And mind you, it was also the highest selling social event of the summer for that hotel. That wedding was
Damn.
at least 50 lakh, like, overall, with rooms and venues. So me as a newbie going in and doing this and then leaving was like mic drop.
I feel like this segment of ours is I'm gonna probably, if I can on edit, kind of put like an awe counter, because I feel like this whole segment is so wholesome. And
Yeah.
just like having guests that treat you like family and consider you a part of their family is something that makes your whole experience, even if it's a short-lived experience that you're
Oh
having
yeah.
at a hotel, it makes it so memorable. Like,
Definitely.
even for me, I remember this one really wholesome experience that I had with with these guests. This was towards like again, similar for me, towards the latter end of my internship, when I was working at the front office for like 10 days or so. And there was this really old Indian couple that had come and checked in. They were just by themselves, not with their family, no kids,
Oh.
no nothing. And they came in, and I'm assuming here, but this could have probably been like their first time staying at a five-star hotel or something. So they
Mm.
just seemed very lost overall and didn't know who to contact for anything, what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when they checked in on this one particular day, and they met me at the front desk, I feel like from there on I sort of became their one point of contact for their
Oh
entire
yeah.
stay. Like, they would keep following up on me, checking when my shifts would be so that they can come and like just simply come say hi or like interact with me, or
Mm.
just like it was just overall really, really wholesome. Through the entire stay of, I think, 4 to 5 days, from time to time, they would just come and keep talking to me. Anything that they
Oh,
anything that they needed at the hotel, they would just like immediately call at the front desk and be like, "Hey, can you please send Varun up here? We need help from him." Even
you were their butler.
I was, in some ways, I was their butler. But you know what? I didn't really mind it at all is because
Yeah,
these guests were being so nice to me.
nice.
Like, even when I went up to their room from time to time, they would even try and offer me, being like, "Hey, we've ordered food. Do you want to sit and eat with us?"
Oh,
And
how nice of them.
even though that was not allowed for me to do, it was just super
Mm.
sweet to see them kind of making all of these gestures to just make me, as someone who's just working at the hotel, also feel at home.
Mm-hmm.
One really good thing that even came out of it is, I think when they were checking out towards the end of their stay, they called me to their room and they were like, "Hey, so is there anything that we can do for you at this point in time?"
Oh,
And I was like, "Oh, no, nothing. But like, could you just leave a review for me on TripAdvisor?"
oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
because we were told as interns to just from time and again, or just any employee time and
yeah,
again, get a
yeah.
review from anyone if you can.
Mm-hmm.
And they immediately were like, "Oh, you know what? We're sorry, we don't know how to like go about this technology stuff,
Mm.
but we're gonna be meeting our son in the next 3 days, and we'll get him to write a review for you."
Oh,
So, and you know what?
wow.
They actually did. They went back and they got their son to write a review for me. And how that helped me is that at my hotel, we were even incentivized for any review that came our way.
Nice.
This is a pro tip for any of you guys being nice to your staff. Don't just be nice to them. Leave a review. There's sometimes a reason why they ask you to leave a review, because for us we were monetarily incentivized for like one review a month
Yeah.
at least. So
Wow, that's nice.
absolutely. So things like that can just make your entire experience a lot more wholesome. And good guests make for an amazing time for us to work at the hotel. We want to do more for you if you're being nice to us.
Talking about wholesome experiences, I mean, that story just warms my heart again. And another thing is, it's not just guests, it's the colleagues and the people that you work with as
Mm-hmm.
well, because
For sure.
they know what you're going through. They're in the
Absolutely.
exact same boat as you. So, the understanding is different. And then it just becomes like you band together to fight against, not fight per se, but then to stand up to someone else that may be pressuring you into working or
Mm-hmm.
it's getting hectic. So it's that teamwork also that's super wholesome and adds to the
Absolutely.
experience of being in hospitality.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just having good members on your team can not just make your experience a lot more comforting, but you can also somehow get benefits out of it. And I'm going to tell you how that happened for me.
Hmm.
So, I'm going to reference White Lotus season 3 again. You remember how Valentine kind of got them benefits of like taking them out to party and knowing the best
Oh
locations
yeah.
in town and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
even though he was playing the health instructor.
Oh yeah.
For us, I had that benefit with my concierge. So
Hmm.
the guy was a super nice guy. And how we just had a relationship with him. We didn't build it for any purposes. We're not being greedy here, but
Mm-hmm.
because of having a great concierge, there were 2 points in time wherein we as just interns landed up getting free passes to things. So
Wow.
the guy got us free passes to Legoland as two or three of us
What?
interns to just go and enjoy the entire park out there.
Wow.
And towards the end of our internship, he also landed up like getting us the passes that he would generally give out to guests before like a hop on, hop off bus tour of the entire city. So
Oh.
like these two experiences we got to experience only and only because this guy was had an equation with us and he was super nice. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're a guest, you can also kind of make the most of it. So if
Oh
you're
yeah.
being nice to anyone at the hotel, whether or not they have these benefits, but if they do, they can really just give them out to you for free and let you enjoy the city and have make you have the most of the place altogether, simply by means of being really nice to them.
Oh
So
yeah.
being nice is not a tough task altogether, but if you can be nice, it can get you some benefits. And why not, right? Why not just make the most of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a two-way street. You rub my back, I rub your back. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. Talking about rubbing backs, Sakshi, I think this one time you were telling me about a friend of yours who has been working at hotels and he gets a lot of benefits from it.
Oh
Let's tell our
yeah.
listeners more about that as well.
Like this is something that attracted us to the hospitality industry is the
Mm-hmm.
perks, right? Like the discounts, the room stays and everything. So that
Mm-hmm.
does happen, but it also depends on where you are on the hierarchy, if you're in the management or if you're lower end, they distribute the benefits in such a way that if you've invested that much time into the property or into the hotel, you get more perks, which makes sense, right? Again, it's a two-way street. So as you climb up higher and higher, some hotels, and it's different from each property, each brand, you get free room stays, if not deeply discounted room rates. So you can be traveling to different cities, and if the place you're working at has like a different hotel over there, you can definitely like check in and you get priority, because we used to have this in our hotel when I was training. If someone from a different property of the same brand visited, they got like nice treatment, because this was technically their vacation, because you can only avail these
Oh yeah,
benefits
for sure.
when you're on your time off.
Yep.
So they got treated very nicely. So if you're giving that much to the brand, they give you back. You also get discounts on food, like 50% off in restaurants is I think the minimum. Sometimes you'll
Yep.
even have items comped off, which means complimentary in hospitality terms. So you can even have that. Like I remember very well, for one of my birthdays at a restaurant that we did, I had friends working there and everything. The bill would have amounted to a lot had I paid the full price, but because I had friends there, they knew me, I had built that rapport with them. I think most of the items were comped off and I barely paid anything.
Wow, that's
So those
amazing.
kind of benefits, yeah, it's not just for you if you're working in there, but knowing the right people also in the industry makes a lot of difference. And it applies worldwide. Like depending on the policies, it changes, but then it's very flexible. So if you're willing to stick around in the industry, you can get to see all these perks. Unfortunately for us, we didn't quite stick around.
Yeah.
And that's why we didn't get to see as much, but we still have friends that are in there that tell us stories, and we have that relationship with them. So we get to see it once in a while.
And when we're saying stick around, I think it has to be at least, say, 4 to 5 years, right? Less than that is
Oh,
not going
yeah.
to do much.
Because you're still learning the ropes. You To get somewhere, I think you need like that 3 to 5 year range
Absolutely.
in any industry for that matter, like to establish yourself.
I guess so. But yeah, it's great for people's families and friends as well who have people in hospitality working for that long. Because if you know someone who's been working in there, make sure you keep that friend close. That friend can get you a lot of benefits as well.
Yeah, but don't make it seem like you're only keeping them close for that discount, guys, because that's just not nice. We were just talking about being nice.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way street again.
No.
Don't just keep them for the discounts, actually be their friend. I think the rest will come with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I also want to make some honorable mentions to some experiences that I've had at hotels over here. The last episode I spoke about how banquets was a good show in terms of having an experience, the whole story that I had out there. But there are also times when we, at least that I had and my fellow interns had working in banquets that were really fun, wherein you would, and this is the side of the hotels that you as guests are not going to see, when we're kind of walking into the banquet with a tray, and if there's like good music playing, if there's a party that's going on, my fellow interns and I would take the tray the minute we're done, go back, and we would also be dancing in the back as soon as the door closed. So we were also
Yeah.
having fun while you guys have fun. We're not just bringing you your food and taking it 100% as a job. But those fun experiences kind of are like memories that I etched in my mind of just going to the back with a tray in my hand and me and my co-intern just like dancing it out for those next few minutes.
That's the thing, right? When you're working those long hours, how do you keep yourself going?
Yeah.
And we had this very big event, like a VVIP event once, where everyone was like all hands on deck, So all us interns were like lined up, and that was probably one of the first events that all of us came together. Otherwise, we were shipped into different areas of the hotel. So it was like a reunion for us and like a party, and we're enjoying. Even though we were working long hours, we didn't care because we had each other's company. So that was one of the fun experiences from banquets for sure. And like getting a 500 rupee tip.
Oof. Yeah, tips can be good. Tips can be really good, and they're a good incentive to stick around.
Especially when you're only getting paid 1,000 rupees a month, that
Yeah,
500 rupees in one day.
yeah, it's half the stipend that you're getting for that month, so that's
Yeah,
super good.
exactly.
And talking
That
about
was nice.
kind of being with all of your co-interns, there are a lot of these experiences that you'll get to have that will be super unique. Like for me, I know that sure, your New Year's party was fun, and at midnight we were all out there by the poolside watching the fireworks go up. But one experience that kind of stuck with me was and now that we're in Canada, I get to see a lot more of it. This was my very first experience of actually experiencing a tree lighting. Christmas is big in India, but I've
Oh.
never really had the experience of seeing a tree lighting. So at the hotel, when we were
Hmm.
there for Christmas, we had this whole tree lighting ceremony. The entire reception was filled with other guests. Even we could get to like on in the back kind of try around things that were being served to the guests. So I had my first eggnog at that hotel along with my
Oh.
other interns while watching this tree lighting ceremony. So there are all of these aspects of being and working at a hotel that kind of land up
Mm-hmm.
being super memorable sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely. That sounds so much fun because yeah, I mean India Christmas, but then outside it's a whole different story.
It is for sure. So, guys, these were just a few experiences that we had, but overall, working at a hotel can have its positive sides as well. I know the whole of last episode was talking about the negative aspects of it and the bad experiences that we had, but I feel like it's also always important to acknowledge and kind of show you the good side of it as well.
Yeah, so if you have any good stories that y'all want to share with us that are as wholesome, if not more, drop them down in the comments. We'd love to hear them. And you can even DM us if you want to keep it anonymous. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're on all platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Sorry, Amazon Music and Apple Podcast. I tend to do these things, guys, where I mix them up.
That
But anyway, so we're on all platforms available to you where you want to find us. And we will see you all next week. See
bye.
you. Bye.